Good afternoon. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining a wonderful session on employee engagement of the future. Please join me and welcome amazing business leaders of today's world. Mr. Shoaib Ahmed, who is the Chief HR Officer in CCL Pharmaceuticals, Pakistan. We have Amina Wahid, who is basically a seasoned HR leader, currently working as a Director, HR VP in Telenor, Pakistan. Welcome, Amina.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for having me.
Welcome Shoaib Saab as well. Thank you so much for joining. And then
Thank you for inviting.
Yep. Yeah, thank you Shoaib Saab for joining us. We have Wasif Khan as well with us, who is a Group Chief Operating Officer. He has a diversified experience working in a lot of organizations, and now he's working for Emarat, Garana, Agency 21, and PropShore organization. Welcome, Wasif. Thank you so much for joining. And last point, whatever we talk, whatever we hear, as per our subconscious forgetting curve, 90% of the information is forgotten in 7 days of time. Now imagine you as amazing people have actually allocated you 1 hour to learn something. After 7 days, if 90% information is gone, it means the tendency, the probability of taking actions will really reduce. So what is different today? So different today because all these challenges, all three challenges I mentioned, all of them are your subconscious challenges. A lot of participants, you are not aware that they are experiencing that. So our research, AIM Consulting, is basically working on actionable engagement. We understand what is your subconscious craving. So today's webinar will be purely focusing on your subconscious craving. We'll make sure that you're engaged. We'll make sure that you remember the stuff, and we'll make sure that you become part of it and you enjoy our webinar. So starting differently, we would request everybody as part of the participants, please share your one expectation. What do you want to achieve today at the end of 1 hour? Open your chat box, will take few minutes so that our panelists will anchor the conversation according to your expectation. Please open the chat box and just write down one expectation. What do you want to achieve from today's conversation? Over to you. So our panelists can open our chat box and then they can read it, that what is the expectation from the people. Yeah, so we're getting some of the information. Yeah, so one comment came on WhatsApp, on other channel, that how should I be ready for post-COVID? Yeah, okay. So this is more what Shoaib Saab is interesting topic, that what people will be looking forward later on. Yeah, we got another interesting point as well, that so that we got another interesting one. What will be organization's expectation from me after the COVID? I think Amina, that's a very good point, I would say. Yeah, and then again you can read it as well. Able to understand how we can increase engagement of our people. Nice. How will my work life be in future? Yeah, a lot of people are complaining about work life.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of challenges, because leaders and managers, some of the nowadays saying, like, since you're at home, you're not moving anywhere, so it means you have to complete your task uh, before the deadlines. My expectation would be upcoming jobs in future. Wow, that's very straightforward. That's like a very important topic where people want to talk about. Right, good. Anything else? What kind of online activities can I engage my team into to develop interest in work? Wow, that's again a very, very nice point. So,
yes, very relevant question.
Guys, thank you so much for building on that. So I'll take
Can you hear me?
As it is, I must achieve that, how we can engage our team
Ali, can you hear me?
which we're experiencing nowadays. I think beautiful expectation.
Yeah, Wasif, we can hear you,
For
but Ali cannot hear
every
you.
participant, I would say that as part of our preparation, I think our senior leaders have actually talked about this. So that's really great. So moving on, if I just share the flow, how we'll go through today. So based on whatever challenges I mentioned before, so the flow will be, we'll just talk about 3 scenarios. So all these scenarios is based on the leaders in this panel. They have recommended that these are the top most scenarios which should be discussed in the panel. So there'll be only 3 scenarios. It will not bombard you with a lot of information. Secondly, there'll be top questions which will be managing. So questions will not be addressed at the end of webinar. What we'll do, every scenario will be supported with the Q&A from your side. So we'll take like top questions. So I recommend every participant that for each of the scenario when we'll be talking about, please put relevant questions over there, and you have a choice to like and dislike certain questions. So what we'll do, our panelists will choose top 3 to 4 questions so that we understand how audience are moving. Then the second last part of the webinar today will be the key takeaways. So we'll talk about what we have achieved today. And lastly, there will be reinforcement. How we'll manage that after 7 days. You do not forget most part of it. You should remember that. So moving on with that, I'll go with the first scenario. So this is the first question I'm gonna put to our panelists. So the first scenario is, we have a life, we have an era where it's a before financial crisis, before COVID-19. Now we're going through a challenging time. It's a COVID time. Inshallah, hopefully we'll get out of it very soon. And then there will be life, which will be after the COVID. So there will be 3 scenarios: before, during, and after COVID. So my question to our respectable panelist would be, what is the one constant behavior, the leadership behavior, which employees should expect and which leaders should definitely demonstrate? So that's a one expectation, one leadership behavior we want to hear. I request everybody to please concise your answer to 2 to 3 minutes so that we will move to the other panelists as well. So I would request to starting from Wasif, and then going to Amina, and then Shoaib Saab, and then we'll change the flow accordingly. So over to you, Wasif.
Right. Thank you very much, Ali. First of all, what I feel is that the one constant which remains, whether it's COVID, pre-COVID, during COVID, after COVID, or any crisis, it's the leadership. The leadership aspect is something that is the one and most important constant. And especially in these uncertain times, it is more important that how strong a leader are we. And when we talk about leaders, yes, there are formal leaderships when we talk about C-level executives and the functional heads, but anyone can be a leader. You don't need formal titles to be leaders. And this is a great time, great opportunity for people within organizations to come up and show their leadership credentials. So are we leaders who are going to fight, or are we leaders who are going to take a flight? Because these are 2 human behaviors. If we are going to take a flight, then that means we are panicking, we are being negative, we are talking about layoffs, we are talking about pay cuts, we are talking about me before we. While a leader who is ready to fight, he is going to stand, or she is going to stand for the people, for the organization. They will remain cool and calm, because while remaining cool and calm, you can think and you can take the right rational decisions. Leadership is about creating a circle of safety, a circle of trust. So it is very important that we create a right organization culture where internal working environment is loyalty, trustfulness, and cooperation, rather than we are talking about where people are very uncertain about their own personal future. So it is the responsibility of leaders, formal, informal, to create a positive culture in an organization. And it is about leading the people right now. Leading the people, not the numbers, not the profits. It is the people who matter right now. So as leaders, whether you are a formal leader, whether you have informal leadership capabilities, we all need to rise to the occasion and lead from the front, and the people-centric approach needs to be there, not the profit-centric approach.
Great. I think that's amazing leadership with safety. Amina, please share your views about it.
I would like to actually build a slightly different perspective from what Wasif has done. Let me bring in the perspective from, in my opinion, in through all of this, the one thing that stays constant is the shareholders' ask of business results. Shareholders still need to see the numbers coming in, regardless of what we are going through, despite these constraints. Once the COVID is lifted, I still feel the shareholders will be pushing the businesses to bring back the results. This is still doable given the scenario, but this means that we need to change how we are working today. We have to come up with more innovative ways of doing things because this constraint is not in our control. We can't change that. So we have to change the way we work. So I think this is an era where a lot of innovation is going to come in. Business models are going to change. And maybe some of the transformations that we expected to happen maybe in 5 or 10 years time will be sped up. Like digitalization will become the key and will happen very quickly. So what does this mean for the leaders? I think with this constant in place, everything else is changing. For example, the way of work we have now seen even during the lockdown that we have very quickly adapted to the virtual way of work. And I think this virtual way of work will continue in future as well. Not because we are forced to do it, but because this will become a more efficient way of working. Leadership styles will definitely change. I agree with Wasif, the people-centric approach has to stay constant. However, leaders will have to change their leadership styles as well. They have to move away from micromanagement and they need to now become more empowering. They need to focus more on giving authority and accountability. So with empowerment, you have to bring in the accountability element as well. But then what does this mean for the employees? So employees now will need to be more self-driven. They cannot rely on guidance and direction coming from their leaders. They need to be more self-driven. They need to be more collaborative. And that's what it will take for you to succeed in the future. You have to be a self-starter, self-motivated person. And employees also now need to start realizing a bigger sense of responsibility towards their businesses. It's not just their leaders' job to worry about the numbers. They need to start taking ownership. They need to start seeing how we impact the business around us. So that's my perspective on it.
That's very interesting. And first of all, Shoaib Saab, I just want to compliment that since everybody is focusing too much on healthcare now, we appreciate the way healthcare is doing, and I like the way CCL started branding as well. So that the future, I think you guys will get a lot of focus from companies. So you already started a good marketing. So I like your virtual backgrounds, CCL with LinkedIn. Thank you so much, sir. Please go ahead with your response. Sir, please share your response, Shoaib Saab.
Thank you, Ali Ghazanfar and AIM Consulting for giving this opportunity. And thank you very much for all these remarks. So I'm Shoaib Ahmed, Chief HR Officer for CCL Pharmaceuticals since last 3 years. Before that, I have worked with Unilever Pakistan, Tetra Pak, and Agro Foods. CCL is a 52-year-old pharma company having operations in Lahore and Vietnam and exporting to 15 countries from Pakistan with 2,200 plus engaged employees asset base. So now coming to your question, the role and responsibilities of business leaders have dramatically changed in past few weeks. We split this era in 3, as you said, BC before Corona, DC during Corona, from where we are going through, and AC after Corona. So leadership in high growth companies like CCL Pharma were focused on fostering innovation, driving revenues, and gaining market share. But today, same leaders are making rapid decisions about controlling costs and maintaining cash liquidity and employee safety. So one constant leadership behavior before, during, and after the COVID-19 is living the core values and purpose of the organization. Our core values are passion to grow, innovate to excel, collaborate to win, and integrity first. All the right behavior of our values and CCL purpose of enabling healthy and happy lives stay as all-time high, stay as an all-time lighthouse for our leadership and our people. So that's my input.
So great. So if we just summarize what we talk about, like Amina talked about the stakeholders' interest, whether there's a COVID, non-COVID, that will stay same as a common expectation. As we hear from Wasif, that is talking about empathetic leadership, that people, the employees want to get safety. That I would refer that the instinctive mind of the people, where 95% is our desire, is our personal safety. Whatever it happens, we always concern about ourselves. And then the way Shoaib Saab just referred. So now I think with this point, I would say that for this common element perspective, we'll open the questions from our participants. Please feel free to share your questions. We'll take top 3 questions, and then panelists, I request that you can open Q&A dialogue, and you can choose the question which you can answer according to your own preference. I see one specifically written for Amina. So, I mean, being Telenor. So, Amina, you can go ahead with that question. So, we'll take, so try to, concise your answer so that we move to the second scenario, please.
Okay, so answering the question regarding flexible way of work. If I can give an example of my company, Telenor, we for a few years have had a flexible way of work where employees have had the flexibility to work from home. But the adoption and acceptability from the leaders wasn't 100%, if I can say it like that. But what we now saw that when we were forced to work from home, we have even been able to set up routines and set up, provide tools and equipment to our employees to work, even manage our knock, for example, from home. So it's doable. Now the leaders are starting to see that employees are working with much more productivity and more motivation while they're working from home. And we recently did this Pulse survey last week, and we realized that our employee engagement results on motivation and productivity had gone up significantly. And these are what employees were rating themselves. In September last year, if those results were around 73, 74, they have jumped up to 83, 84. So the leaders are also now getting more confidence that yes, this way of work can work. So I definitely think this will be the new way of work in the next few years as well. It won't stop just because COVID is gone. I definitely think it will continue. And I would like to add here, in sharing from Telenor's example, it takes time to build that change. It takes time for people to accept.
Wow, that's great. That's
Ali,
So I
Ali,
truly believe this is the way forward.
Ali, I just wanted to, I heard Amina talk about shareholder, maximizing shareholder value profitability, and she's absolutely right that one of the results that organizations want is maximizing shareholder value. That should remain. But the perspective I want to give over here, and in these uncertain times, is that shareholder value maximization and customer service excellence are the results of engaged, motivated, secure employees workforce. So this is why I feel in this uncertain times, it is extremely important for formal leaders specifically, and also the informal leaders, to create a culture where people feel there is a circle of safety, there's a circle of trust. Because employee engagement, if you would see, it's not about happiness, or it's even not just about satisfaction. It's about the emotional commitment the employee has to the organization. So the for the emotional commitment, I would reiterate that leaders need to go with the aspect of a servant leadership concept right now in these difficult times when psychological issues are also coming up in people because of the stress and anxiety that COVID has brought in. So all the more reason that you see, because we think from the mind and we feel from the heart. So as human beings, how would leaders understand what's going on in the mind of their people? It's very important. Shareholder profitability, maximization, and customer service excellence will all follow as a result. We need to take care of our employees right now. If we are talking about the psychological aspect, then it's very important. Like we talk about endorphins, dopamine, and all these things, how these things are getting impacted because global organizations are now talking to psychologists, counselors, that how we can get people out of these anxieties and stress. And I think as leaders, we need to play a role in that where we tell people to be cool and calm. We cannot be panic stricken because that will be detrimental for the people and for the organization. So it's very important that we go with this aspect of servant leadership and create a circle of safety and trust. And of course, as Amina mentioned, that of course the ways of working are changing. There's work from home now, which people used to say it's something 10, 20 years ahead of us, but now it's there. So how do you create the engagement with people is very important, like she was talking about and Shoaib Saab was talking about, that the connection aspect is very important because you can't do town halls anymore. You can't have big sessions. You can't have boardrooms filled with people, but you still need to connect. The emotional, the physical connect still needs to be there. So probably the one-on-ones are very important right now. How do you do the one-on-ones, whether it's through Skype or Zoom or Google Meet? And even if when the offices start opening up and the lockdown goes down, there will be a hybrid model at least for a year, I think. That some people will come to work critical, some will work from home, and there will be alternate days of working also, which some organization will follow.
Yes, Wasim, we will be covering all this scenario building also.
I think that's amazing. So let's proceed to the last question so that we, for the sake of time, we move ahead to the second scenario. Shoaib sir, would you like to quickly, just 30 seconds, because I see one question specifically for you. Can you just quickly in 30 seconds, please address that question?
Okay, should I first address the question? I don't see it from, can you read it?
What HR is doing to manage mental health of employees at home?
Yeah, definitely. We will be covering it in the last part also. And as Wasif has mentioned, many new things. So it's all about the connectivity and communication with the employee. We will be doing that. So coming to your question of scenario 2, should we move there, Ali?
Yep, I think I agree. Then we'll move to the next scenario so that we'll cover it there. Definitely. So moving on, thank you so much. So we covered the first scenario very nicely. Thank you so much. Moving on to the second scenario. Now, the game is like after this lockdown, the situation will be that there will be one set of people who will be working from home. And then there will be a set of people who will be working in office because the lockdown will not be 100% open. The government will definitely come back to the idea that critical people in the office, non-critical people from the house. So now organizations and the leaders need to manage a hybrid environment. So my question to respectable panelists would be that how do you think that organizations and the leaders will manage the performance as well as the engagement in a hybrid environment, or at least next few months till we get the COVID 100% over. So I'll start the answer from Shoaib Saab and then Amina and then quickly to Wasif. So I again request to concise your answer to 2 to 3 minutes max. So over to Shoaib Saab first.
Okay, thank you, Ali, again. I will talk about my organization. We at CCL Pharma are facing challenges to keep our plant operational 24/7 under the new normal COVID SOPs. Ministry of Health also had a successful inspection yesterday and found it very satisfactory. This has changed drastically the job scope, roles, and priorities of our employees and their performance. So new performance standards are being transformed. Functional leaders and their teams are navigating health concerns and practicing all safety instructions. Working remotely is going to be a new dimension in employee engagement measure. So in these current scenarios, in these current circumstances, the new performance standard, which we have came up, or all experts are working on it, is the decide with speed over precision. So it's an speed which we need to continue instead of the precision. Second is adapt and learn new skills. So we have just partnered with LinkedIn Learning to give a world-class material with highly agile learning options and purpose. So that we have gone for that one. The third one is the reliably deliver, because we are a pharmaceutical company, but a loss in productivity is not a worry at this time. So we are not pushing people for that. The fourth one is the engaging with impact via stream of communication, continuous communication, online, videos, engagements, and all these coupled with workplace appreciations, keeping the social distancing also. So people who are working at home and people who are working at plant, we are continuously appreciating with new modes and new creative ideas. And the last one is to take the pressure off. We have taken the pressure off the employees. So business targets are revised as per BC and AC. Means before Corona and after Corona, the business targets has been revised now. Challenge is to keep people motivated. So I just want to share here that this week we did a quick dipstick survey from our field, plant, and offices staff. An employee has shown a great confidence in our response to Blue questions. If I share with you only the 4 questions, the measure taken for the well-being and safety of employees during COVID times by CCL. The response was 96.5% rated it from satisfactory to excellent. So only 2.5% people were having a different point of view. The second question was the communication made by the management with respect to the challenges during prevailing situation was prompt, clear, and transparent. So we asked this question and the response was 98.5% employees rated it as a satisfactory to excellent. The interesting was that how much non-productive was work from home. So 58% says that it was productive, 32% were neutral, and 10% says non-productive. Keeping in view that we are a pharmaceutical company, we were not in habit of this Unilever and Telenor, people having a flexi hours and working from home earlier. So this is the first time our teams were working from home also. So they still don't feel that it is unproductive. The last question we asked them is the company able to manage social distancing as per defined instructions? So 92% were satisfactory on that, but 8% shown their unsatisfaction on that. So moreover, we have partnered silently with our group CSR organization, DHF, and employees are donating, and CCL is making it double before it goes to deserving and needy employees. Deserving and needy people. Similarly, in the surrounding communities. Similarly, many initiatives like providing medicines to government initiatives and providing PPEs to healthcare professionals are being done. So this is my point of view.
Great. I think this is like sharing the examples, the short story. I think that's a great learning for other people and the organizations. We got overwhelming response from the participants. We got more than 100 participants who are part of us right now joined. So I think that's a great learning, a great heads up to the other organizations as well. So I will quickly request Amina to shed some light on your on this topic.
Okay, again, I think I would first start with giving the basic hygiene factors to the employees. So we are not talking about people partially right now, everyone working in lockdown, and then in the future, possibly in the near future, half the population working virtually, half in offices. I think the first and important thing, and that Wasif has also touched upon, is the empathy angle. Despite what we have to deliver, the business results and everything, organizations and leadership has to show that empathy angle and wellness angle. And like Shoaib Saab said, even we in Telenor are making sure that employees are feeling secure, their mental well-being is being looked after, their concerns related to themselves or their family members' safety are being addressed by us in any way possible. Trying to provide our employees with safety kits, and trying to share the best practices on how to keep yourself secure. That's one thing that was very important. Secondly, if we want performance to continue during these turbulent times, we need to equip the employees. Very basic thing, but internet connectivity needs to be ensured. They need to have access to online tools. For example, the Zoom that we're using today, some form of these tools where employees can stay connected with their teams and can have a more feeling of normal way of work. And I think also things like VPN connection and everything. This is the basic. Once this is in place, then we need to make sure that the employees' performance momentum is not broken. Right now, if you're working from home and even if the business activity is low, I think it is very important for leaders to stay connected with their employees even today. In Telenor, we are working full time. We don't see that dip in the activity. But even if there is a dip in the activity, my recommendation to all leaders will be to stay connected. In TP, in Telenor Pakistan, what we do is some of our teams meet daily, some meet on a weekly basis, and we just connect just like this. We are connected today, and everyone is given an opportunity to talk about what they are doing, what are the challenges they are facing, and what they are trying to do to meet those challenges. What this does is it gives a very fair and transparent view to everyone that everyone is working and what they're working with, and also opens up a collaborative front where other people are now offering help. Okay, if you're facing this challenge, I can help you like this or like that. Important thing for leaders is just to make sure employees understand what their role is. This is the right time to show that connect that we as a business, whether it's pharma, whether it's telecom, whether it's anything else, are impacting the society. If we are delivering on our services, we are empowering our society, or we are making a contribution towards the economy. And it's very important at this point in time that the economy is contributed towards as significantly as possible. So this is kind of where you connect these kind of connections, and the employee is able to see what can I do. For example, we have our sales staff. Shops are closed, but the sense of ownership that then comes in the person's mind is, okay, I am empowering people to stay connected during lockdowns. I should make sure that the recharge cards are available. Pharmacies are open. Let's do that. Let's get there and provide our recharge capabilities to those retailers that are open. So this is the kind of sense and ownership that is created, and then this motivates employees to keep performing. And when you're performing like this and you're having these daily catch-ups or weekly catch-ups, everyone is seeing that everyone is performing. And then a time will come when half of the people are sitting at home, the other half in office. Now, I have worked in virtual setups for quite a few years in my career earlier. And I used to be one of the persons who was sitting at home, and the rest of my team was in Norway. And my biggest learning from that was, when that happens, always have online meetings and try not to have more than 2 people physically sitting together. Because if more people sit together, you start talking amongst yourselves, and the people who are working from home feel left out. So these are some of the basic routines, and there is no big tool that I'm talking about. It's basic connectivity and basic collaboration that I'm talking about. If everyone joins online from their respective laptops or their computers, everyone gets more face time. And today, the way we are talking right now is a testimony how that actually works, and I have experienced it myself. So just summarizing what I am saying, work has to continue. Even if activity is low, stay connected with your employees, give them a purpose, tell them how they contribute to the bigger society at this point in time. And this encourages them to think innovatively as well. And the connection should not drop. That's my on this.
Very comprehensive response, Amina. Thank you so much. I mean, that's like really great learning for all of us. You, please.
Yes, I get overflown by my emotions, probably, of sharing what I think, right. So I'll just try to keep it as concise as possible. So as you know, Ali, that I'm currently working for Pakistan's biggest integrated prop tech company in the real estate sector, Grana. And then we have a group of companies, Agency 21, Grana.com. And then we have PropShore, which is digitizing the real estate industry of Pakistan. And we have Imarat, which is building and constructing residential complexes, malls, hotels So, and as you would have seen, the Prime Minister has also announced a special package for the construction and the real estate sector. The reason being that real estate is the biggest industry in the world. It's a $700 trillion industry in the whole global, if you would see. It's the biggest industry of the world, which employs the maximum number of people. So we have 700 plus employees working for us in Grana Agency 21 and the group in Marat. So what are we doing for the employees? Number one, of course, we have sent out brochures and videos to our employees. We have given them masks, gloves, sanitizers. We have sensitized them on how they need to take care of themselves and their families and their friends in this situation. We are a technology company also. So right now, our employees are working from home, and we are doing regular daily connects, weekly connects. These are happening as in any organization. But the important aspect, Ali, is right now, we are still continuing with the process of rewarding and recognizing our top performers, our employees. We are doing R&Rs through our WhatsApp groups, through Zoom, through Google Meet. We are recognizing our top performers. We are still trying to create an engaging culture in the organization through our chairman and CEO, because I talked about servant leadership. I spoke about how it is important for leaders not to panic at this time and create a circle of safety and trust. That's what our chairman Shafiq Akbar is doing right now, that he has spoken to all the employees that everyone will stay on. The group will continue its operations, and there will be no layoffs. And that's a big thing. And right now, probably we are one of the few organizations. We are also in the hiring mode. We have 100 plus positions right now, which we have advertised on our page. And me, my chairman, and our head of HR, we are doing interviews through Google Meet and Zoom right now. So the business is going on. We are hiring more people. We are doing the talent development part also, where we are creating virtual online training courses for our employees. And on coming Monday, our chairman is doing a real estate orientation training for all the employees of the company. So that is going on. Plus, for the customers, what we are doing creatively right now, Ali, is we are introducing the aspect of VR, the virtual reality and augmented reality, where customers can see our products through the VR and AR facilities technology angle. And from a CSR angle, Grana Agency 21, Emarat and Topshore Group is contributing to the society. We are distributing rations to the needy people. Our employees are also contributing towards that. And this is something what I wanted to share, that what we as an organization are doing. And the aspect of, just to close this up, is during the COVID-19 and even after that, what will remain is the compassion will remain the number one part in the organization, empathy and compassion and respect for the employees, and the engagement level, like Amna and Shoaib Saab also talked about. The world has changed now. So we are also adapting to that. Like there will be days when we will be doing our virtual connects, and there will be some connects with the employees, but only in smaller groups, 4 to 5 people connects, physical connects. That is something we are planning to do once things open up, so that the human element does not get missed out.
Right.
Thank you.
Good.
Great. So, yeah, thank you so much. So, I think we will take the question after the last scenario, because we are short of time now. Let me put the third scenario in front of because that's very important. I want my panelists to give some time to talk about that, because that's talking about future. So, see, now we're talking about the post-COVID, when inshallah everything will be sorted out, and we'll be back to the normal, the life before Feb, like in Pakistan. So let's assume that situation. Now, once the people will be in the office, the organizations most probably are currently in existingly like in a challenging situation, and they will be looking forward to have those employees who actually help them to grow quickly. But on the other side, as you see that people are at home, so they are having fear of life, because a lot of people are dying in US, Italy, France. So everybody is worried. So it's not like annual leave, like people are enjoying or people are going for recreational trips. So what will happen when people will back to the office? Now, leadership and organizations want a big leap. They want a support to grow the business faster. But on the other side, they will receive a stressed employees, not motivated employees. Because if they really want to have a quick recovery, a financial recovery, they want to have a motivated employees. So that is something, expectation will be different, but they will not get excited employees in the office. So my question to my respectable panelists, and now I only will give 2 minutes to each because we need to address few of the questions. My question would be how leaders will rebuild the culture once the COVID will be over. What are the steps they will take to rebuild the culture, to rebuild the motivation quickly post COVID? So I would request to start from Amina this time. So over to Amina, please.
Okay. Ali, I would rather say here should not be a question of rebuilding the culture. This is supposed to be maintaining the culture. And I think organizations should be very thoughtful about not dropping anything right now. And I'll just build up on my last answer and say that this is the time where the leadership needs to stay connected with the employees. This is the time again to show the connection to the employees, how we as employees impact our society. It's a difficult time. It's probably easier for Telenor, for example, as a telecom company, because, for example, in Varakahu lockdown, there was a complete lockdown and one of the tower sites needed to be fixed. And we had our technology guys and our technology partners wearing PPE suits, go in that lock zone, fix the tower so that people within that lockdown can stay connected. So it's stories and examples like these that leaders need to build towards the employees, tell them that their work matters.
Yep.
This is number one, staying connected with the bigger picture. We in Telenor, we talk about Telenor Saath Hai, and we truly as employees believe in it, and we try to show that to our society as well. Similarly, leaders need to now stay connected with the employees more and more. And what discussions need to happen today, if you're not working full time, how will we do things tomorrow? How will we recover the losses we have incurred in this time? Every business is suffering. It's not unique to one or two businesses. Every business is suffering. And at the end of the day, for everyone to be able to keep their jobs, for businesses to be able to sustain and pay the payroll for their employees, they need to have some sort of revenues coming in. So employees need to now, leaders need to encourage employees to think out of the box, bring new innovative solutions, and we see those solutions coming in even today. Every employee needs to understand what role can I play. And last but not least, that we have talked about multiple times, empathy. Even if you know that your employee is working from home or not able to contribute 100%, as leaders, we need to show empathy. We need to focus on their well-being as well. Tools I have talked about, but one last thing that I haven't talked about, maybe I think one of the panelists has, is employee recognition. It's important to recognize what contributions employees are bringing today. If we are able to do this today, when the COVID is lifted, you will not have the challenge of demotivated employees. They will know
Great.
that they have a purpose to deliver.
Very well done.
Good.
Thank you so much. Shoaib sir, maximum 2 minutes, please.
Sir, I will cover in 1 minute only.
Oh,
I think
that's great.
Yeah, okay. So I think this before Corona and during Corona learnings, we are keeping a complete track record of it, because once this time will over, we will be sharing these learnings. And these learnings are going to have a lasting impact. Before we were talking about like 3D printers, or they might be printing pharma products, and onward we may be talking that 3D printers should be printing the more PPEs and personal care products. So the digital transformation, which actually we were talking a lot on this one, will speed up, and it is going to be the new way of life, and work from home will continue for companies like us. So our new business line, and we have started new business lines during this time, is also of hand sanitizers, surface and disinfectants coupled with personal care going to stay for longer. That's our business case. The last thing is, the good thing is that we have not compromised on our human side and our company cultural values. So we will continue to channel them into a positive strategies and actions that will protect our employees' well-being and improve our workplace culture over the long term as a CCL family. So that's my point.
You see, you've been telling me I'm referring to pages, but I prepared for your panel discussion and I have put my thoughts on.
We'll invite you again. People would love to hear you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
in short, what I will say is that how the world will change and organizations' ways of working have to change after COVID is health and well-being, like Shoaib Sir was talking about, health and well-being of employees, which most of the organizations and even employees would not keep as top priority earlier. Now everyone realizes that health is wealth. So individuals, employees, employers now will have to focus on the employees' health and well-being as the number one top priority. I think that is very important. And specifically where work from home will continue, it's important that we are seeing that employees remain engaged and healthy through exercises, healthy eating habits. So that is one aspect that will have to be bring in the culture of our working environment. The other thing is that the overall culture of, like we've all spoken about, empathy, and we have referred to compassion, that will have to remain. And senior leaders will have to play a role where there is a culture where the culture is being built by the leaders and overall in the organization, where people can share their ideas, their thoughts of how they think they can relax and get optimum results in the organization. And the other aspect I think that will change is the aspect of that how do we create a balance between shareholder value, the profitability of the organization, and human development. So work on human development was happening in every organization before COVID, but it will change. It will have to adapt, like Amna had spoken about on creatively adapting to it. But it will have to become the number one priority. Let me say that because shareholder value maximization and profits will be a result of human development. So I think that aspect will have to further improve by all the organizations.
Wow, that's great. So with that, let me quickly, so we covered three scenarios. So we talked about common leadership behavior. So what is one common leadership behavior? We hear about this from different panelists. And then we talk about managing the hybrid environment. So when they will be post lockdown, when few people will be in office, few people will be working from home. And the last part was rebuilding the culture. I think we got a very good insight from all of our panelists. Now, we answered few of the questions, but for the sake of time, I would request now each one of you who is the attendee of this webinar today, just rethink the learning we are having now from all these panelists and just write down one takeaway. What is the one action which you will take for personal self, like how you will get ready for the future of the organization? Or what is the one takeaway which you're gonna share with your leader or your organization? So that is something, please feel free to write it on the chat box, and I would invite panelists to just read those views as well, that what people are writing, so that we just understand that what is people taking away from this conversation today, what has brought the change. So over to all of the participants, please write down one takeaway. We just want to hear what have you learned today. So use the chat box. Yep. And yeah, leaders need assume situational leadership and service leadership. I think that's the point. Yep, that's very important point actually. The one common constant which was shared by Wasif, that the service or servant leadership style. So that is one takeaway by one of the participant. Any other learning which people are taking, please write it down, and our panelists are basically reviewing it and looking into it. Yeah, learn more productive use of technologies. Yes, I think that's very important. I think that's very obvious because we don't know when COVID will be over. So we need to be agile, need to get ready. Yep. So yeah, we got another one as well, that in context of digital Pakistan has pushed us in the right direction with all barriers to change being moved. Isn't this an opportunity amongst disruption towards lean management in all industries? Lean management. Amna, would you like to say something about 30 seconds about it? Lean management?
I think it's a very right comment, and this is actually happening. I can talk about the telecom sector, for example. We were working toward digitizing our channels and digitizing as much as we can customer interfaces. And I think that got sped up very quickly during COVID. We were already on the journey, but it became much more quicker for us. We have now moved almost a lot of customer touch points to our online channels. So I definitely agree. And like I said, we will now emerge with new business models out of this COVID situation. And rightly said.
Yep, that's good. How to maintain the employee engagement, employee morale. I think we talked about it. Yeah, we talked about it in a detailed way. Yeah, so from smart factory to smart products, a good leadership could revamp the economic optimization on a bigger picture. The most digital will be in the tackle the challenges, whether on human resource levels or technological level. I think that's a good point. So another point I noticed sent through WhatsApp, there is
I
a
just want to
balance
say on this
and
one.
humanity. Sorry, Shubham, you want to say something?
Yeah, Ali, I just want to talk on this smart factory concepts, because these things we were talking long from the factory point 1 to point 4. So I think this whole transformation will now will fasten, will speed up. So after this COVID, we will be looking at all our processes, that where we can bring in more automation, where we can bring in more activities which are without with the less human interaction. So yes, it will speed up greatly.
I think I would agree with Shoaib Saab that the technology aspect, because I'm working for a technology-based PropTech company, that what we have seen is that since people are working from home, so there the traffic on the online websites has gone up. On our website also, and I was reading somewhere even on Amazon, the net worth of their chairman has gone up by $26 billion. So that shows the world has changed for good. And this e-commerce, this technology, VR, AR, all these aspects are not now going to become even more important. So organizations and people need to adapt to new technologies.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
So yeah. So with that, I think yeah. So we got good learning, good takeaway from different participants. So I think with that, let's move to the last part of our conversation, where you just shared the one takeaway with us, because it's very important for us to understand that what is the learning for you, what are the action you're gonna take it later. So what is next? So if you just start from the beginning, we talk about like most of the information is forgotten, people got disengaged. So what we anchored in this dialogue, we took your question answers, we took your comments as well. So we understood how you're thinking during the session. Now to reinforce the learning, we are planning something that after this webinar, we request you to just draw your learning, like what is the one action you're taking forward. If you could just draw that and send it to us. So with that, 60% of your learning will be reinforced. That's another part of the research. 60% of your learning will be reinforced, and you'll be able to take certain action which you are actually thinking now, planning now. And again, in the last sessions, we got a lot of feedback from the people. We're not good in the learning. So we'll share one video with you as well. Even I'm not good in drawing. So we will share a drawing video with you. So we request everybody, just draw one action which you're planning to take away from today's session and send us through email or WhatsApp, and the winner will be announced on LinkedIn. So that is what we will plan to do. And I hope everybody will be excited to do that. So with that, I am very happy and very thankful to Shoaib Saab for a beautiful backdrop as well, and amazing learning. And Amina, thank you so much. You guys really supported. I'm sure it is a treat to the participants to attend this wonderful webinar where we see people more than 100 who joined from different companies across Pakistan. And last not the least, thank you so much, Wasif, for a lot of material and a lot of excitement. I think the best thing if I use about my panel today is the humble and passion, because you guys were doing your best to give something to the people. So I think that's a one message. If everybody, we do not know even who are the participants, but we still see a lot of energy, a lot of passion from our panelists. Thank you so much. We're very humble. We're very honored having you here. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for having us.
So with that, we respect participants. Guys, thank you so much for your questions. Of course, we are not able to answer all the questions, but always remember, questions are always better than the answers. So you had your questions, you will get somewhere. You might send it to us. We might be able to answer. So questions should be there always. Thank you so much for a wonderful dialogue, and best of luck. And we'll see you in the next webinar upcoming next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.